hello, and welcome once again to Bell to Bells, your women's wrestling wire. I'm Mr. Warren Hayes, and another interview that we have here for our celebration of women's wrestling in cooperation with our good friends at Pro Wrestling Illustrated for the women's top 150 list. I am joined today by the virtuosa herself, the current Impact Knockouts champion, Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna, it is nice to see you again. Welcome to Bell to Bells.
Oh, it's nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
So, Deonna, before we go on to anything, we are celebrating. We're taking advantage, right, of the 150, the release of the PWI 150, to talk to you and celebrate women's wrestling in general. But I'm going to do something here. There's something special that I want to do with you. I want to tell you before, because when we're recording this, the list hasn't been officially revealed, right?
Right.
So you don't know what your ranking on the 150 is this year.
No.
But it is my pleasure to tell you, I'm going to announce this, and this is spontaneous. This is a fresh reaction.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
I'm going to announce it to you right now. Deonna's not expecting this.
I'm having anxiety. Okay.
Deonna, on the top 150 this year, you have ranked number 3 overall.
Jeez. Wow.
That's
wild.
Wow. It's a big bump. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look, there's only 2 women that placed over you.
Right.
How do you feel?
Honestly, that's incredible. Wow. I never could have guessed that. I think I was in the 30s or 40s last year.
Correct.
And for me, I'm going to contradict myself here because I try not to care per se, you know what I mean? Or weigh my value on myself and what I've done based upon, things like this. But when you're number 3 in the world, that's freaking amazing. So it just kind of validates. I think that the year, 2 years ago, I was higher, and then last year I was a little bit lower, and then now to be number 3 and to be ranked in the, top 10 of the world, the top 5 of the world, the top 3, that's really cool. And that's been my goal, for the last 2 years, is to prove to the world I am one of the best in the world. So a little bit of validation that I am what I say I am is really, 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 really freaking cool.
There you go. Well, congratulations. But I mean,
Thank you.
I think, and I understand your position where you're I don't want to find validation, but I think, it's hard to disagree with the kind of year that you've had. Only one singles loss in 2021, for instance, a rogues gallery of opponents too, Taya, Valkyrie, Su Young, Jazz, Fabia Pace, of course, Thunder Rosa, Melina, Mercedes Martinez. What were some of your favorite matches that you've had over the past year?
So if I am correct in what I think the kind of evaluation period is from July of 2020 until June of this past year.
It's a little different for the 150. It's from October 1st to September 30th.
Oh, okay. So basically what I was going to say is Jordan Grace from Slammiversary has been my favorite opponent, but obviously that doesn't fit into a contest.
But still, shout out to Jordan, right?
Yes, always. But Impact has given me a lot of legendary opponents. I've been in the ring with Jazz, and we got to do a career versus championship match. So to kind of retire her in a way from Impact was, on a personal level, really cool. But then story-wise has kind of been where this career killer kind of dynamic has come from. Melina and Empower was amazing just because we were celebrating women's wrestling that whole weekend, and I think the world really was super receptive to everyone on the card, but specifically me and Melina, and we were able to build where Mickey and I are now through that. So there's been a lot of storytelling in the last year for me, and I'm so thankful Impact has believed in me this much. He's given me the opportunity to go and fly the Impact Wrestling banner across the world, in Mexico at Triple Mania, and just really cool life moments that I've tried to embrace and be really, really grateful for.
Obviously, this level of freedom and success, right, is definitely took off once you left your former employer. As far as the goals, clearly you bet on yourself, right? When you left, and as far as the goals that you set for yourself when you left and you got into this new chapter of your career, How's that turning out for you? Is it are we on the right path as far as the goals go, or not?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Gosh, I don't know that I had really any goals. When I was released from NXT, I was in a really weird space personally, and I didn't really know what my options were, or if I even wanted to be a wrestler anymore. I was in this really weird, like, do I even love this anymore? This is the only thing I've ever known, and wrestling has been my first love, but do I want to continue to do this? And then, of course, Madison Rain is one of my best friends who kind of knew the dynamic of my life at that point and really pushed for me to have a conversation with Scott D'Amore and led me to where I am today. But I don't know that I necessarily had any goals because of what I was dealing with personally. But my goal overall, once I'd settled with Impact, was to, well, not settled, but settled in my position at Impact, was to win a championship. That was the one thing that had eluded me throughout my career up until this point, was to be the champion in the face of a division. So being able to do that kind of right off the bat and go for the championship. I mean, my second match in Impact Wrestling was for the Knockouts Championship. So yeah, that was kind of my bucket list thing that I've been able to do. So yeah, I try not to set goals because I planned my whole life. And the last 2 years have really been about going with the flow and embracing and where I'm meant to be in the world, I'll be placed there. So I'm just kind of here for the ride and I'm enjoying it.
It's look, I mean, for someone who didn't have like a set path, stuff is turning out pretty good, and as you said, you became Knockouts champion like on your second match there, and you despite the fact that you've wrestled just about everywhere. I mean, you're sort of you had a good indies career before, and now you're coming back and you're still dipping your toes just about everywhere, and at Empower as well. I think a lot of fans believe that you made a good choice heading to Impact. Impact makes good use of their women's talent. I think that's generally accepted. How do you feel Impact stacks up compared to other promotions that especially that you've been in contact with in their women's division?
Yeah, I think, I would rest my soul on the fact that we are the best division in the world, in terms of the talent that we have being so diverse, and the fact that they, from a company standpoint, are so willing to have anyone, that looks anyway, any kind of character. We kind of hit every demographic and all kinds of diversity within our division. And I think that that's kind of always what's made the Knockouts division special. But I think as a division, we also have this chip on our shoulder with the legacy that comes with being a knockout and being the Knockouts champion, that this division broke ground in women's wrestling before it was cool and it was the trendy thing to do. So for us to kind of carry, I know I speak for everyone, but specifically for myself, that has been a driving force for me throughout the last 18 months as champion, is to continue to bring this championship around the world, let people know that this is the place to be a knockout is where you want to be if you want to be taken seriously and given the opportunities to be taken seriously as not just a women's wrestler, but a women's athlete. So, we just had Knockouts Knockdown. We saw Masha Slamovich get a contract right as the pay-per-view was taping, and things like that. So I think those constant investments in our division aren't taken lightly, from us at our standpoint, from a company standpoint, and then from a women's wrestling fans standpoint.
You hear a lot, especially, as much as I talk a lot with women in the field, there's always discussion, that, yes, everyone feels that women's wrestling is going into a better place, that it's never been in as good a place here. But you always hear talk about how women always have to struggle a little more. They always have to work a little more to get just what they have, as opposed to the guys, which always feels a lot more, a given. Do you feel that that's still the way? Do you feel that it's improved in your time as well?
Yeah, so I definitely feel like it's improved 100%. I feel like we are definitely being given more opportunities because the fans demanded it. The fans said, we want women's wrestling, and didn't back down, and really put up a fight from a social standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's only so much, you know, women can do backstage, and there's only so many times you can kind of poke the bear before you're labeled as a problem. And you know, I've kind of embraced that poking the bear a little bit in other places, but specifically I can only talk you know, about Impact right now.
Sure.
And I don't think I need to poke a bear. If I have an idea or there's something I want to do, there's kind of an open door policy between me and creative and me and management. And I think that the more women get put in that category, that feel that empowerment to be able to speak for themselves and speak for their division, only more progress can be made. But I definitely do feel like, you know, in the last, you know, 2 or 3 years, that we've made progress, and we can only continue to make progress until we see more women in those positions, more women in power positions to make those decisions, and things like that.
It's great to hear that you know, that if you have anything that there are people that listen now and that actually take, you know, ideas and take them seriously. I think that's fantastic stuff to hear. At the time that we're recording this, you are embroiled in a high-profile feud with one Mickie James. I don't know if I don't know if our fans have heard about her. She's a legend in the business. I'm being sarcastic. We love you, Mickie. Legend in the business, advocate for women's wrestling on top of that. Probably one of the larger profile feuds you've been in, and you're going to be putting up your Knockouts title against her at Bound for Glory as well. Gotta have some mixed emotions here a little bit, Deonna.
Yeah, I definitely have some mixed emotions because I feel like Mickie has tried to make me the villain in all of this. And really, if we want to go back to Slammiversary in July, Mickie came into my home and assaulted me. So I think I'm the victim in all this. She's come and she's always hit me first. I've never touched her first. And, you know, I think that it's an interesting dynamic. I think that she wants respect for what she's done, and rightfully so, but I want respect for what I've done, and rightfully so. So this matchup at Bound for Glory is going to be very interesting. It's going to definitely be the fight of both of our lives. You know, and from a personal standpoint, this is, I think, the most embroiled in a feud that I've been in to date for my Knockouts championship. But I think people forget I'm from Jersey. I think people forget that us Jerseyans are a little crazy, and that when we have to defend what's ours, we're willing to do it at any cost. So at Bound for Glory, Saturday, the 23rd, that is exactly what I plan to do.
You know, last time we talked, you know, I mentioned to you, one of the reasons why I enjoy watching you so much is at some point I feel like you're just playing with your food, you know, like, you know, that you can end it at any moment, but you know, you sort of toy around with them a little more. Do you think will you have room to do that with Mickie? I
do think that. I think that I'm number 3 in PWI in all of women's wrestling. So I think that I've proved I'm one of the best in the world. And I've consistently done that over the last 18 months. Mickie James has only had one match to date in the last year.
That's true.
When she wrestled Kylie Rae at NWA 73. And I watched that very closely. So I think that I don't have any questions. When I walk to the ring, I know what I'm doing. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. And I don't think Mickie can say the same thing.
I have a tendency to agree. Yeah, I don't have nothing of what you said here is completely alien to me. Do you said it yourself, you know, you have a bit of a career killer streak going. Is this another career that you might just like
Absolutely. If that's what it comes to, I mean, I attacked her at her house, on her farm, left her laying out there. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get my Knockouts championship home with me after Bound for Glory. So at any means, at any cost. And if it ends with Mickie never showing back up to Impact Wrestling, I'm definitely 100% okay with that.
I wish you the best of luck against Mickie this Saturday, Bound for Glory. Very excited to see it. I have goose flesh right now just thinking about it. The number 3 ranked on the PWI 150, Deonna Purrazzo. Thank you so much for taking some time out today to chat with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the little sneak peek insight. I'm so excited That means so much to me, more than I could literally ever convey via words. And I honestly am so excited to see how everyone else reacts. I can't wait for this to become public knowledge.
Me too. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And where should people follow you on your socials if they ever want to just make sure that they never lose a beat?
Yeah, everyone can follow me at Deonna Purrazzo on Instagram and Twitter.
Just as simple as that. Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuosa, one of the top three in the world. Not one of the top three. Thank you, everyone, for
like a plaque or something. I need like a plaque to hang in the office here.
Look, I think technically, I think number one gets a plaque, but I can draw something up for you and send it.
I'm gonna have my own made then, and just be like, look at me, number 3.
It'll be better than the hand drawn one I do for sure.
I want that too.
Okay, one of each. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to join us today. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm Mr. Warren Hayes. We'll see you next time.